It's like I don't really know who I am anymore.
What a true sentence. You don't know who you are without certain people or things or ideas or concepts or purposes. Would that be accurate?
Absolutely. It's like I've been surrendering and letting go of the identity of who I've been forever. And there's fear in that because it's the only thing I've known.
If I have you fill in this blank, I knew who I was when. I knew who I was when I had that career. Like, what feels true for you, Dana?
When I was in a marriage and
Wow.
I had a partner and my child and living in one place, I think my purpose was more external on keeping other people happy.
I have a question for you. When you knew who you were then, if we could just somehow make that all come back, if we could get your kids back to young, they live with you, you're back in that marriage right now, starting in 2025, would that do it?
I'm not the same person.
I wonder how many breakthroughs we can get from one hot seat. That's why I'm sharing this hot seat with Dana with you. Even though Dana is going through her own journey, I think you're going to be shocked at how many things Dana has in common with you. One of the things we're going to look at in this hot seat is how Dana created a character who feels responsible for other people. In other words, if someone else is sick, commits suicide, is depressed, it's on her. If there's a breakup, it's her fault. Do you have a character in you that makes things your fault? And what if in 2026 we're moving to a time where that character has to go so that you can heal the things in your heart and move forward and let go of the idea that who you are is responsible for what everyone else is going through? This hot seat is also profound because it asks the question, if you could go back to your old life that was so much simpler, would you? A lot of people don't realize that they might linger in the idea of missing the old days when things were easier. But if we really look in 2026 and ask ourselves, would I go back? Sometimes just accepting where we are is the key to much more letting go of the past that no longer serves us. In 2026, we have to accept where we are to begin the process of being the butterfly that we are. Instead of going back to a world where you are the best of the caterpillars, it's time for us to be in our vulnerability and explore the depth of what's here as we open our heart, even if it hurts, and feel what's here. Another thing that's going to make this hot seat very profound for you is we're going to discover the difference between fixing your childhood and actually alchemizing it. Very often we make the mistake of trying to fix our childhood. This is where you feel off, so you find something on the external to fill the offness. But that's not the same as alchemizing your childhood, which is where you connect to the now and actually look at it until it leaves. Even though we had childhoods that are all different and can be painful, our job in 2026 is to become connected to the adult version of ourselves and heal anything lingering from the childhood that no longer serves us. This hot seat is profound, and I promise you that if you sit back, relax, and open your heart, you will discover so many revelations and changes that will help you move into 2026 and release these old patterns of responsibility, fear, and all these old stories that are truly not what you are, but have to go in this time. Enjoy Dana's hot seat. Hi, Dana.
Hi.
So
Well, I'm a
happy to
little
see you.
surprised, but excited and nervous at the same time.
Yeah. They're actually the same thing. Did you know that? Nervous and excited are both anticipation of the future.
That makes
They're this,
sense.
and so if you're ever nervous, you could also just start saying, "Oh, I'm excited," and then all of a sudden it has a positive spin on it. But they're both anticipation of an unknown of the future, right? And so excited might have a little more semblance of control, and nervous is like I don't have control, but they're all growth, right? So we are in our space with you and just loving our nerves. And maybe that can be a first lesson. Excited and nervous is the same thing in a way.
Yeah, that and I have no control of
Yeah.
either of them, I think, anymore.
Yeah. What does that feel like?
It's a bit terrifying because
Yeah.
it's like I don't really know who I am anymore.
Mm. Feel that for a second. What a true sentence. Like let's mourn that for a second. Even though I will go into that we believed we knew who we are, and I believe you're getting closer to what you truly are, I definitely don't want to overlook that feeling and that experience is still there. You don't know who you are without certain people or things or ideas or concepts or purposes, right? Would that be accurate?
Absolutely. It's like I've been surrendering and surrendering and letting go of the identity of who I've been forever. And there's fear in that because it's the only thing I've known. And yet I can see there's no purpose in holding on to something that's not there.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing, right? Like
Yeah.
if I have you fill in this blank and maybe we all could look at this. I knew who I was when, like when I was holding on to that. I knew who I was when people would tell me. I knew who I was when I had that career. Like what feels true for you, Dana? The it's eventually will be uncovered as something we could question, but what would be the truest sentence for you to say right now? I knew who I was when.
When I was in a marriage, when
Wow.
I had a partner and my child and living in one place, it was like I think my purpose was more external on keeping other people happy. And I didn't know who I was back then either, but it was
Yeah.
different. My focus was, on someone else. And that gave me a feeling of thinking I knew that this was my life.
Yeah. I'll offer everyone watching right now to feel free to write that sentence out. I knew who I was when, and feel free to write whatever, 5 or 10 things there. There's something maybe that is here to be looked at or mourned. I knew who I was when all my friends were around. I knew who I was when I lived at that place. I knew who I was when I had that purpose or career. I think that really unfolds something beautiful for us, Sana, to look at like this thing and then we will look at it and go, is that true? But at least we felt more in purpose and complete, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Although in it, I know that things weren't true, in the direction where I was at that time in my life.
Yeah.
Felt like a lot of crap happened in one year that kind of shook my whole life up and took me out of it. And after like about a little over 8 years, I'm on the other side of that. Um,
Yeah. I have a question for you.
mhm.
When you knew who you were then, I want to ask you, if you ask your soul this question, if we could just somehow make that all come back, if we could get your kids back to young, they live with you, you're back in that marriage right now, starting in 2025, would that do it?
I'm not the same person.
Yeah.
I don't see how the only way it would be is if I were who I were now going forward and know what I know now.
Mm,
And there's part of me that wishes that because my ex took his own life. And so,
sorry.
yeah. And I think I still carry some of the shame and guilt, even though I know I'm not responsible.
Yeah. Does your pattern know you're not responsible?
I don't think it does because when I went through the divorce, I mean, we were married 29 years. Um, I had a lot of shame in my body, and I was constantly losing weight to appease and have him find me desirable, and then I would gain it back. Was never for the reason of loving myself. It was always to please someone, and so it
Yeah.
just never came back. And then that was part of why he divorced me and was with somebody else, and we were divorced about 5 months, and then on a Christmas took his own life about a week after my mom died.
Wow.
And so part of me, still wants to hold on to, man, if you had just kept that weight off, if you'd just been the one he
Wow.
wanted, maybe he would have stayed and not killed himself.
Well,
And I
let's
know
go
that's
into this.
true, but it's
Yeah.
like it's still stuck in my body, like a protection or something there.
You know, I would offer the one that feels responsible for his suicide is the same one that felt like you have to lose weight for him. It's, in other words, it's almost like there's a character in Dana that doesn't know who she is if she doesn't take on fault.
Wow.
Like it's right. What comes up for you with that?
Um, I was like the peacemaker in my family. When I was a kid,
Yeah,
I was the youngest, and there was a lot of fighting and violence and contention. And I
yeah,
was always trying to make people happy and
yeah. It's so right there,
yeah.
there's an establishment right there in childhood that it's on you. It's not that parents also can suck sometimes. It's not that also they have their own life and addictions and anger issues and
Mhm.
challenges. You as a child, like the idea in my heart of like Vivi thinking she needs to be responsible for keeping Amber and I together or keeping my co-parenting with Christy cordial breaks my heart. That's my 8-year old's responsibility, right?
Yeah.
But unconsciously, actually, the light workers end up going, I can do more than these unconscious people can do. And I will take the responsibility since I'm actually probably at a higher consciousness than these parents, than this family. So the shadow to that is I'm responsible, right? There's not
Yeah.
anything that sees maybe these parents are unconscious and addicted and in a weird world that creates a bunch of addictions and shame and control and in a society that's difficult and it's all on me because a kid doesn't this is the weirdest thing that God threw at us. The kid goes, "Oh, that parent's an alcoholic, that's my fault. That parent was abused and is now shut off, that's my fault." That's the only thing a kid can make sense of. A kid doesn't go, "Oh, they have their own issues, this isn't about me." Their survival instinct kicks in more. So, what if Dana, the story of Dana is I'm responsible? And then we look for things instead of going after a 29-year relationship, my husband is in his own world, is going through his own trauma, is doing his thing, and instead of me going I'm going to allow him to feel that, it must be me. I'll lose weight for him, not because I'm called to lose weight for myself. It's my responsibility, and my responsibility is to him, not my own calling, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then that character is just perfectly hit perfectly with the suicide is my fault, right? Not that if you had been with a different man for 29 years and he and you broke up and he didn't commit suicide, that you could go, oh, it's not true. Is it true that any man you would be with, if you guys were together 29 years and broke up, would commit suicide?
No, that's such a one-off and unexpected.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It's,
what is the factor? Is the factor you or also is it him?
it's him. It's him. I mean, I even know that when we did separate it, when we started going through it, there was a moment he said, I haven't been attracted to you for 10 years, and that's fine. But there, my soul kind of whispered, this is really sad. Or I was angry that somebody would stay with me that felt that way,
Mhm.
which even in that then created more issues of trust as well, that somebody would be with me that would stay in something like that didn't
Mhm.
feel that.
When he said that to you, were you attracted to him?
I had been, I had been, but I think I had been pulling away and trying
Yeah.
to find more of myself. And there was a moment my soul whispered to me, it was like, you know, I don't I don't want to be with somebody who doesn't love me. There's nothing worse.
You know
No.
what's interesting about that sentence is it also feeds into this character. We should have a name for the character. In other words, I don't want to be with someone who doesn't love me, still actually doesn't have what you want.
Yeah.
Do you understand that? Like does do I want to be with him? Oh, I'm just in response to if he wants to be with me. Like there's no me in it,
Oh.
right? Like what do I feel? Like imagine if I'm just like I only like Amber because Amber likes me.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Right? Like, isn't that,
Yeah.
oh, I love Amber because she likes me. In fact, I would offer that if that was the factor, Amber would have a right to feel very insecure because the factor of me liking her would be that she likes me, which means that if anyone likes me, I like them.
Yeah. And I think it was an issue as well of feeling safe because I never
Hmm.
felt safe in my family home. And
So this marriage was partly the fixing of the childhood versus the alchemizing it.
yeah, I think so because I see things, I write a lot of what happened to try to assume responsibility for here I
Yes.
am, for the person I was, to see who I was and seeing that there were things within them that they had their own issues with their own parents, their mother. And it's almost a moment I saw where they were acting out things that they did with their mother with me, almost
Hmm.
weird context. And maybe
Wow.
that's the same with me. I did not have I had a very weak and dysfunctional male, you know, dad and then stepdad, um, role model. And so I think there was always that desire to connect and feel safe. And I was willing to do whatever it took to be in.
Yes. And do you understand that that child was who was the one in your relationship for 29 years? In other words, right? It's the
Yeah.
fixing of that child. And I want to look at real quick the difference between fixing something and alchemizing it.
Yeah.
One is you're staying the child, you just have your circumstances. So we go, I didn't feel safe in my childhood, so I will get into a marriage that isn't like my childhood. Now, the little child's still there. She's just not in the same circumstances, so she feels safe. But that means that if the relationship ever becomes anywhere similar to childhood, all the trauma comes back because it hasn't been actually alchemized. So this is big because you can ask yourself with your friendships, with your relationships, with your career, am I fixing my childhood? Am I fixing my past or alchemizing it?
That makes sense. That makes sense because I can see that with a long-term friendship that ended a couple years ago. And I saw who I was and when I created it, and I was somebody that put somebody on a pedestal and wanted to meet their needs.
Hmm.
And yet that was not reciprocal.
Would you say that fixing a relationship was when you knew who you were? In other words, the answer to the question, the thought now I don't know who I am. I just want to look at this real quickly with you. I know who I am when I'm fixing my childhood, but not alchemizing it. We all knew who we were when finally our pain from childhood or our past, even if we were an adult at part of it, isn't being played out. Right. So the
Yeah.
idea of I know who I am is actually often, I'm discovering this as I'm saying it, measured by oh, good, I don't have to face the real darkness that I faced in my childhood and heal it. I have my circumstances how I want it. Now I know who I am.
Yeah, it's weird because I just felt that with my feelings. If I keep them happy or make them happy, then I'll be happy.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's look at is that ask your soul, is that the universe's highest desire for you? You are happy because you have plate spun and made everyone else happy. And you don't have a right to be happy if anyone else is not happy, especially if you think you're responsible for it.
Well, the irony of that is that generally when you put all that energy, make people happy, they're not happy. It
Right.
fires there's never enough. It's never
Right.
enough until
Yes.
this is endless, um, just nagging feeling in the body of, I have to do this. I have to do this. If I can't do this. And then yeah, and no, it's not the highest purpose. I know that because the moments I've felt joy have not been connected with that. They've been very simple, calm.
Yeah, what was the factor of those moments of real joy, of the truest peace or joy or love you've ever felt? Was it that you got everyone happy?
No, no. It was either like just being in nature or just being able to just be at peace and be
Mm-hmm.
someplace with someone without just being, just the factor of being with someone that you care about without any trying to fix or out trying to do anything. And I've had such few
Wow.
moments of that because I haven't really known how to be that.
Take a deep breath in and feel that. What's here? Here it is. So, with the truest sentence we could say right now, the belief of I knew who I was I was keeping everybody happy.
Yeah.
And if we just look at it like scientifically, is that what the universe set us up for? That
Oh,
the idea of I know who I am can't be the truth. And so I want to offer everyone watching real quick, what's your false I know who I am? I know who I am when I'm making money. I know who I am when whatever a bunch of people say good job. I know who I am when my dad's not mad at me. I know who I am when I'm single. I know who I am when I'm in a relationship. I know who I am when I'm addicted to something, right? I want to offer everyone to be really real and let's look at this because one of the things that hurts us is just our language with I know who I am when. And that's why when that falls apart, we start to say, I don't know who I am without that addiction, without that purpose, without that story. And we're going to actually question, did we know who we were or were we just curving and calming a false trauma pattern?
yeah, it was all, I mean, I look at it, it was all based on survival and based on trying to get love, attention, make people happy. Um, and there is a bit of joy when somebody is happy or you do a kind thing or something for them, but that's not feeding the soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably right now I feel so disconnected because none of that works anymore. Nothing
Yeah.
that I did in the past feel, connects me anymore. And so the
Yes. Do you
disconnect.
do you know that the pain of that will be less and not from any denialism if we stop phrasing it I knew who I was then? Do you understand that? Like
Yeah, because it's not
that
even true.
yeah, that dialogue is a belief system that adds to so much of our suffering. In other words, if we say, what if you're about to know more of who you are for the first time? Or what if now life has said you have mastered that level of your life, of caretaking your children in the house and being in that relationship and holding fault and having circumstances where you don't have to feel the fault and then having circumstances bring up the fault. Now we get to start looking at more of who you are for the first time. And we're just letting go of what you never were, but needed to experience fully to get a full experience of life.
That makes sense because there's like excitement with the discovery.
Yes. Isn't that funny? It's just the language is
Yeah.
this is a
Yeah.
belief, right? One of the things we're
Yeah.
saying on hot seats is one of the things that is causing your pain is you believe something that's not true. And one belief I keep tackling, I want to make sure you both feel heard and this premise comes out because I think that's a core belief. The first sentence you said, or one of the first, I don't know who I am anymore. That sentence, not based on truth, is causing your pain. That's adding to the pain. I'm not saying there won't be pain we feel through, but if we actually see it how God sees it versus how our ego sees it, which keeps grabbing the old story, which says, don't take me farther, God, which says, don't help me heal fault. Don't help me feel constant responsibility. Don't help me feel that I'm at fault only for my husband's suicide and that I'm responsible for why he would be disinterested in me when a lot of people probably, if they're not expanding in a 29-year relationship, would lose interest in each other. Right? Like I would imagine if you're not expanding, at one point life goes, hey, I got to help you expand. So we're going to start making you disinterested in each other unless you go to an evolving based relationship and he might not have been interested in that.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So if we take away the sentences that cause so much more pain, like that was who I truly was, or when you look at attachment and call it love, right?
Yeah.
If imagine if we say I was so attached to that person that I broke up with versus I loved them so much, right? And that's why I'm so mad they're with someone else. Well, that's attachment, right? That's
Yeah.
attachment.
Yeah. Because
Love
if you,
liberates,
yeah, because if
right?
you love them, you would welcome whatever and allow it the freedom.
Right. And
Yeah.
what if that could be the practice where someone and you are doing that, you are in a very giving relationship, you would just be the highest choice and they wouldn't move forward, right? Like this
Yeah.
is love, right? So when we say these sentences, like these sentences are what add to so much of our suffering, just a false belief system.
Does it feels like when I start to rise up and like I'm starting to have some peace, it feels like then all the triggers get really fast. And then it's like, then I want to go back and sabotage.
Mm,
And is that
yeah.
just that ego's coming back because it knows I'm going ascending or I'm rising, and now it's like, no.
Yes. One of the things I'd love to have you practice is a presence for the triggers and not catering to the triggers. Like the trigger comes back and it goes, we need to go to, then guilt kicks in. Guilt is coming up because you're actually moving to your true frequency and it's purging your guilt. Boy, is this a big thing. I know I've talked about this on hot seats and on
Yeah.
stage before, but I want people to get when you truly follow your heart, you very well could feel a major influx of guilt because you were used to living in a world of guilt and you called it love. Do you know almost all of us grew up in families that called guilt love? Like that speak in terms of guilt, that tell you you shouldn't follow your heart in a way, or you know, by being your true self, you hurt everyone else versus all of us should take responsibility for our trigger of the fact that you're living as a butterfly. You know, as you said, I'm responsible for why my husband doesn't love me right now. That's guilt called love. I'm going to
Oh,
be love and out of guilt try to lose weight. But it was out of guilt, so it came back because it wasn't your soul's calling. It was fixing his story, right?
yeah,
And so
absolutely.
what? And so when now we don't have anyone to fix right now, you're seeing through that. So here comes a world of guilt because you have no addiction of other people to constantly hold. And since you don't have anyone to hold, all you feel is your own guilt finally.
Wow. Yeah, it's weird because when that pattern shows up, I start to analyze. The mind jumps in and says, well, why are you feel it questions it like, oh, you must be doing something wrong to feel this. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing wrong? Like,
Yeah.
it's so screwed up.
Yeah. And
Wow.
you just sit here and you bring now to that. You bring now to that because that voice is not you, but it has lived under your attachments to everyone else. That voice lived under my husband sees me now and loves me. So I don't have to look at that. It's just sat in your chest, in your heart.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah.
voice, it was still here. It's just under things, right?
Yeah.
You know what I went through last night? I'll share something really vulnerable with you guys. Last night, I noticed something, and that's one of the things I'm noticing. I'm starting to really receive incredible friendships and incredible connections and this amazing relationship and this amazing team. And I have had a life of holding everyone up and being giving and just used to feeling taken from. And I noticed that I became successful after being bullied in junior high. In junior high, I was a chubby kid. I was bullied. I started performing. Everyone loved me. So I went from a bullied kid to success. And I could hide behind success and funny and then even spiritual awareness. And under that is the bullied kid who hates himself. And he feels sorry when he has a good friend. Like we hung out, you know, we hung out a couple days ago with JP Sears and his kid and went out boating with Vivi. And JP has been one of the most generous people I've ever met in my life. And I noticed this thing in me that actually feels I'm sorry for having a good friend. And I
Yeah.
don't feel worthy of having a good relationship and a good friend. And I'm like, please don't leave me. I'm new to becoming worthy of this.
Yeah.
That
I
I
can.
that I can have people that love me too. I'm so used to holding the world up, right? So I go from success to under it is the bullied kid who's sorry for existing. And I said to Amber last night, I just started speaking the patterns out to cry it out. I don't like myself at all. But I do under that, but they need to be spoken. So there's guilt and shame just being spoken. And I cried and said I don't like myself and then felt great, went to sleep.
I
All
will
right.
do that because I haven't been sleeping either.
Well, imagine we're going to a time where those lies are ready to come to the surface. I mean, if they are for me, they are for you, right? They're for all of us. It's just like the universe goes, hey, this line of guilt that we held from the past, this gross guilt that you have had to hold that was your family lineage, no matter when you are in your life, is ready to go. And so I want you to hear that when the voice says, who are you to have this and you don't deserve and you're not that great or whatever, that's just the stuff coming out. I want you to just hear it as parasites energetically passing.
Okay.
It's not true. And you don't the difference between you then is that voice could say that and you'd cater to it and you'd go, "You're right, I'm not worthy of this and I'm going to hold everybody else up." Now you just look at it and you go, "You're not me." And maybe it'll need to be spoken through you for a second to say, I'm not enough and I'm a terrible person or whatever. We let it act itself out like a fire burning itself out. But I want you to know that's not you. It's gunk and crap. And we keep moving forward and we hear it, but we keep moving forward and we don't cater to the voice. I want to offer that guilt voice can talk, but it's not in charge. There's one. The guilt or shame voice can talk, but it's not in charge.
Yeah, it's really it's kind of like when you do a ceremony and you know what's ever coming up is going, but as soon as the mind gets in it and attaches to it, then it creates, oh, I haven't healed this, I haven't done this, there's something wrong with me. I'm just like,
Yeah. Could you let check this out? You want to try something real quick?
sure.
Take a deep breath in, Dana, and I want to offer everyone to take a deep breath in, and I want you to be the now. Just the now. Okay? That's the in fact, when we say I don't know who I am anymore, if we do know who we are, the best answer I have for you is now. It's so much simpler than the career, the relationship, the story, the parent, whatever. You're the now. That is the truest sentence that you can have here. You can never do the now wrong. You can avoid the now and go into the past and future, but you're the now. And I want you to embody, Dana, that you are the now. Okay. And I
Yeah.
want you from the now to feel free to speak any of the guilt or shame sentences that come up, but you stay the now. It's almost like you're the bonfire. And when a sentence comes up, we're throwing that sentence into the bonfire of the love of the now. Did that make sense?
Yeah, it's almost like allowing whatever's sitting there to come up, but not worrying, not going forward or back into it.
Right. Because
Yeah.
that's just the girl being speaking, but she's speaking within the power of the love of the now. And the now looking at it is the power to heal everything. And that's why what you are is unconditional love. So, and what if together, you and I and the team and Amber, we all hold hearts with you, like all of our hearts are in the now, and we could take turns even saying any guilt sentence that might come up, right? That, or it might have lingered in the last week. It doesn't even have to be one that necessarily comes up because your now might be so powerful, no guilt comes up. But maybe if there's one that might linger or will come back in the future that hasn't been alchemized in the power of the now, we're going to bring it up and say it. What would be for you, Dana? What would be a sentence you've
I
heard
don't
yourself
matter.
say? I
I
don't
don't
matter.
matter.
Yes. When we bring now love into it and let it be said again,
I don't matter. I don't matter.
and you anchor yourself in that now.
I don't matter. It's almost like the body feels it, but the heart doesn't feel it.
Okay. Well, then let's be the body. And maybe the heart doesn't feel it, like the heart doesn't feel that's true, that you don't
Yeah.
matter. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's be the
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah.
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 So we still can feel it. We can feel the cells that carry I don't matter, but your heart's the bonfire.
Okay. There's a, I'm worthless.
Feel your heart and let I'm worthless be felt through. Yeah. Good.
I don't feel enough.
Yes. Yes to saying that. Yes to the heart bringing that to light.
It's not up to me. It's like it's always been up to me.
Would you like to do a one on one with me? For the last 16 years, I have now performed in one way or another over 15,000 one on ones. And I have to say, I'm starting to really see the simplicity of what the factor is. Sometimes you need someone outside of you to see something that you can't see. After doing so much of my own inner work, you just start to see the illusions that everyone's holding on to. You start to realize that our pain isn't from our circumstances, they're from what we're holding on to that we no longer have to hold on to, and our circumstances mirror what we're holding on to. You know, there's a couple ways you can do a one-on-one with me. One, you can join us on Infinite Expansion, and we do hot seats all the time. Or you can do a private one-on-one with me. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I could easily pull together thousands of testimonials and prove to you why you should work with me, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to work with someone that I have to prove to work with me. It has to be in your heart and your calling. If you feel called to work with me, click the link in the description, join us for a one-on-one, or join us on Infinite Expansion, and see if one session can change the entire course of your life. Now enjoy more of Dana's Hot Seat. Look how your heart's they'll just come up.
There's shame. I feel ashamed of my body.
Yes. And we bring the heart to it, and it's just fizzling in the heart. She feels ashamed of the body. That's how she knew protection,
Yeah.
right? That was her protection, to feel shame and guilt about her body.
Yeah.
the protection of staying safe by keeping the relationship that was actually here to protect you from childhood. So she feels not good in the body. It's all her fault. There
The
was a sense.
strange thing with part of that is there's like fear with that because there were to be safe from sexual things that happened in my life. It was like the body would put on weight to be protected. And then it was also a mix of trying to comfort the body at the same time. So they were just patterns of protection and comfort.
Mm, yeah. What if we don't know who we are without fault? It's my fault was a protection and a sense of control, right?
Yeah, it was, yeah, when there's like the chaos of being in dysfunction and trying to control by being the good kid, the smart kid, the one that does everything, the one that's funny, the one that sacrifices, the one that you
Yeah.
know, takes responsibility. It's so exhausting in my body.
Real quick, just could we break down anything ever that you've taken responsibility for that actually isn't your responsibility?
Oh, I would say others' emotions, unless
Yes.
I've actually said or done something to them. Others'
I have a
happiness.
question.
Yeah.
If you've said something to them, even, are you responsible for it? I'm not saying don't say sorry, but
Oh,
I'm
no,
not saying don't
no.
own something. But do you still
Yeah,
go over the line on that's theirs to heal? I'm not seeing that. It's all mine to heal theirs. You understand what I'm asking?
yeah,
Like, what if you said a truth? What if you said a truth about you?
yeah, yeah. Because when I think that I'm responsible, I won't say the truth because
Right.
there's fear.
And how ironic we even know it's truth. In other words, how is truth second when it's truth?
Yeah,
In other words, shouldn't truth be first always? Like it's truth. We're
yeah.
literally burying truth.
And it's
This is
and it's
why
my
we're all screwed
truth.
up.
Yeah, it may not
Yeah.
be their truth, but it's my truth and whatever is in that moment. Yeah, there's been so much fear to speak unto that and to
Would it
avoid.
be possible to have let someone have their truth and you still have yours and you could still be friends with them and their different truths? Is that possible?
Absolutely, and unless their truth is they can have whatever, but it may be something that I don't value or something that maybe I don't resonate with them or it's something that isn't my truth that's so far removed that I don't, it's
Yes.
I just say it's like I know there's a feeling of loving everybody and accepting everybody, but there's some people you just don't want to be around.
Yeah.
And it's not that
I,
you don't love them, it's just they're different, they're in a different space or energy.
yes. Have you ever buried your truth and truly felt yourself evolve at the same time?
No, because it's a way of of then when that happens, it leads to numbing. It leads to
Right.
wanting to numb myself or distract
Right.
myself.
Yes. I want to dare you to look at that. Have we ever buried our truth and evolved at the same time? I'm not saying have you ever buried your truth and things stayed circumstantially safe for a few minutes and then later became a bigger problem. But like, you know, burying what's true, like even if your truth is different than someone else's, there's a reason you can feel that it's true. And it's like God's talking through you, and you can have different truths and see things
Hmm.
differently. But even if you cap your truth, you are losing God. You're losing your expansion, you're losing yourself, and you're making other people's egos or triggers or whatever else more important than that. So, what if you knew who you were when you were bearing your truth?
That's interesting. Well, I
Because
knew
you
I
were,
was bearing it. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
there's that point. I think when I did it so often, I did, and it was just automatic. But then the more I started to feel it, or actually start feeling, then I knew that there was something there that wasn't true.
yes, yes. I want to point out we never knew who we were when we were bearing our truth. Whether we need to just hear our truth internally and follow it, whether we need to say it, but the lie we felt is I knew who I was because we just got so good at managing and burying our truth. I know this is true because I'm looking over and this beautiful woman is bawling her eyes out right now. That's what the truth does is it makes healing and love and freedom. So we actually didn't know who we were.
No, and I could feel now how there was so much fear to be in that truth, a fear of not being loved or rejected comes in. And so there's more of the suppression, more of the things that come in.
Yes. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. So bearing your truth actually causes the normalizing of more fear, more shame, and more guilt.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when you told me you loved your husband because he loved you?
Yeah.
If I ask you, were you feeling attracted to him and in love with him from you in that time? What would you say?
Not in the last few years. In the last
Yes.
few years, I could feel as I was wanting to discover what I wanted or what I liked,
Yes.
um, he got more vocal and more critical of me. And that started to feel repulsed of that attitude,
Yes.
almost like kind of like you've been with a father or mother who's just constantly criticizing you. And at some point, you're just like, enough already, enough.
Mm-hmm. And remember how you told me you were triggered that he stuck around when he wasn't attracted to you?
Yes,
Do you realize that's why you were triggered was you were doing the same thing,
absolutely. Absolutely.
right? You we
And
there
I
does have to be
denied it.
shame in this. Yeah, we just you weren't attracted and he wasn't attracted and you guys were both trying to stick around, right? But this stick around thing in the future can be avoided if we just say I'm not attracted to you anymore.
Yeah, and there were things, and I'm just going to be totally vulnerable here, that started to happen later in our life. And he started getting into pornography and wanted me to participate in that. And at a point, I did for a while. And then I was like, I can't do this. And I
Mm,
found it repulsive at some level because I had a daughter. And I just, in my mind, was like, this is somebody's daughter here.
mm,
And that I think was his way to feel attracted to me, was to use it as a tool. And then I picked up the guilt and the shame with that as well. But there was inside of me is like, no, no, this doesn't resonate. This is not. And that may have been part of my, again, putting back on weight to say, I don't want you because this is happening.
mm-hmm.
And I question if that is not true or not.
Yeah, what an amazing.
Protecting
I
myself.
want to commend your vulnerability because what happened there was true. And you just shared it to release it a little bit because that's something you've been holding. And I just love you so much for sharing that and want you to free yourself of that. And yeah, your way of saying I don't love you was not to just say that or I'm not attracted to this or this is repulsing me. Did you tell him this is somebody's daughter? I don't want to do this?
Yeah. Yeah. At some point I said, no, I can't do this. This is, this is wrong. We have, and even though our
Yeah.
daughter was younger or whatever, it's still the energy of it just repelled me.
Yeah. So it sounds like you were moving to some free, energetic, light place, and he was moving to what seems more addicted and dark.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
It was he wouldn't could not let go of it,
yes.
and I think he blamed me for it. And
Well, he
I'm not
joined
gonna.
you. He joined you in your own self blame.
Yeah,
Do you understand? Like, in other words,
yeah,
you've
yeah. I
given him
took it.
29 years of you're responsible for everything he feels.
Yeah,
Do you understand what I'm saying? Your subconscious told him, I fix everything. I'm responsible for everything. What you feel is my fault. And he's like, I'll jump on the boat with you. Imagine if you said right out the gate, what you feel is not my fault. I will own what I need to own when I see I did something wrong all the time. But you are responsible for yourself. See, he didn't ever feel he's responsible for himself. And that's why it went downhill into pornography and lower and all this other stuff because he didn't want to face anything and change and grow and find light and create real expansive relationships. And I'm sorry to say it, that's also a factor of why he committed suicide.
yeah, yeah. I see
You
it because he
you
did.
can't help. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, he did hook up with somebody that was like 10 years younger and leaner and everything else. And they may have been bringing things up in him that he could not see. And then finally, then he would maybe had been repulsed with himself for, I mean, it creates
Yes.
that when you can, it's so, yeah, what you're saying. And then I can see with that part when you finally start to take face what you have to face or see yourself. It's not an easy thing to do because I've been doing that
Right.
with myself in the ways that I've allowed or accepted whatever occurred in my life by not being in truth, by burying everything.
You know, narcissists are very good at, even though they have a subconscious of just self hate that they don't know about, they're very good at everything is everyone else's fault. Empaths are very good at everything's my fault. That's the difference between the two,
Yeah, I
right?
feel that.
The second we start to dissolve fault or practice counterbalancing it a little bit, like if a narcissist usually won't, but if a narcissist started owning something and going, this is actually more my fault, and I'm responsible for this, not even fault, I'm responsible for this. And I'm causing some pain over there and I'm just blaming them completely. And ours is, hey, you know what? He was responsible for his porn addiction, not me. He was responsible for carrying his own weight in this relationship. He was responsible for speaking some shit, and he was responsible for his suicide. And in our world right now, it's almost like the most victim, we almost don't feel allowed to say that because he committed suicide, it's almost like he's such a victim in that we don't get to say anything that we feel about it, right? It's almost like people who are successful don't even feel allowed to feel because there are other people in other parts of the world that feel worse things. So people that are happy don't get to feel through their feelings because everyone has it worse. Same here, energetically. It's like because he committed suicide, I don't even get to say he was responsible for committing that suicide.
Yeah, yeah. Instead, I've kind of taken on the oh, I forgive him, and and yeah, I cared about him, and I forgive him, and kind of uh making peace with it, but also there's like a burden there I've picked up and trying to, with my daughter, even of trying to appease her or make her feel better and trying to step in a role of being the father and the mother because he's not there. And that's not me. That's not mine. I mean, he chose it.
Fill in this blank. I have to appease my daughter so that she doesn't what? Or isn't what?
Sad.
Okay, I want you to just say this. Deep breath in, especially if her daughter had a father that committed suicide, but just because she's a person, my daughter is allowed to be sad.
My daughter's allowed to be sad.
She's allowed to be closed.
My daughter's allowed to be closed.
She's allowed to be shut off.
My daughter's allowed to be shut off.
She's allowed to be distant.
My daughter's allowed to be distant.
What else do I need to say? Or what have you say?
Um, my daughter's allowed to find her own happiness. And my daughter's allowed to find and fill her own needs.
And if she does, I'm allowed to feel what?
I'm allowed to feel free of being her caretaker or
Well, that's
yeah,
good.
it sounds kind of crazy, but are
Fill in this blank.
responsible.
And how old's your daughter, by the way?
She's 29.
Okay, so she's a grown up, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I am not responsible for being my daughter's caretaker.
I am not responsible for being my daughter's caretaker.
Guess what else, Dana? You're hurting too.
Yeah.
Do you know you're hurting?
Yeah, I am. And I can't take on her hurt.
No. To
I
not
remember
feel your
doing that
hurt.
at first.
Yeah. I can't take on her hurt in order to not feel my hurt,
Yeah.
right? Do you realize
Yeah,
the
because I
bullshit
hid
that,
it. I mean, I kept it back at first to be strong for her.
do you think the sentence, I am responsible for others' pain, is your way of not feeling hurt?
Absolutely, because it pushes down my pain and makes it
Yeah.
less and not important.
But you were in a 29-year relationship and had a difficult childhood and you're hurting
Yeah.
and you need to be taken care of too. And you need to be heard that you're hurting.
Yeah. Thank you for the presence of allowing me to be in this space
Oh,
because I can't share that with anyone else. It's very limited what I'm available to share because the energy of others just can't hold that. They can't hold that.
right.
Or they want to fix it.
Yes. I'm honored to be with you. And we are honored to be with you. And I want you to, so we can let go of the caretaker that's here to imagine you healing some hurt and then bringing a whole you that can let your daughter feel how she wants, but doesn't feel this pain responsibility for thing, right? Like imagine you are there. I understand you're hurting, versus don't go anywhere and let me take care of you and I'm panicking, right? What if we say, I'm allowed to be hurting too?
I'm allowed to be hurting too.
Yeah. What if we just say, I'm hurting?
I'm hurting.
Yeah. No doing, no solution, no fix someone else. And then grab that fire heart for a second. Yeah. Feel your fire in your heart. Feel that bonfire. Do you notice that I'm hurting is a little truer and a little deeper than the guilt sentences? In other words, burying the hurt is what causes the guilt to come up. But if we could just open heart, I'm hurt, let that wound just be here, I am hurting, then it's not guilt.
Yeah, I see that. I feel that. It's
Guilt comes from the burying of your hurt.
wow.
But if you'd be allowed to hurt openly, whether it's do a call like this, whether it's tell a tree, whether it's go for a walk, spend time alone, get a therapist, get a good friend that actually holds that space, it won't be guilt saying you're so bad. It's hurt that's actually much closer to you than the voice of your parents that you held to bury your hurt in the first place.
Wow. You know, the irony is too, is part of that, even with people, I was almost feeling shame for still feeling hurt over things that happened in the past. Like, oh, you should be over this by now. You shouldn't feel this way, which
Yeah.
no wonder it's never completely allowed itself to be seen.
You know a sentence that I like to say when someone says, I shouldn't feel this?
Yeah.
But you do. Like, here's
Wow.
what's true, right? But I do. I should be over this, but I'm not. It's here. The end. No
Yeah.
matter how much someone says you shouldn't have to pee while you have to pee, you have to pee. Like it doesn't stop you from having to pee. It doesn't, you have to. You can't help it, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. I
that
can
shame
see.
is just an argument with what is. And if we start to be with what is versus some other person's should that you picked up that just argues with what is and go, but I do feel hurt. Even if I've felt it for 29 years, I do feel hurt.
Yeah.
The end.
That's even the where the distractions come into, because it's like that comes in, and it's like, ooh, I shouldn't feel this. Let's not feel this.
Right.
And now I could see
I
where it
shouldn't
can
feel
never it can never be seen if it's distracted or pushed down or
right.
rejected. It's a rejection of me, of my soul.
So anytime you start to feel something and you hear an old habit voice go, you shouldn't feel this, you look into a mirror, you stand up strong, however it is, but I do. I'm sad. I'm hurt. I'm pissed, right? We override that voice now. And that
Yeah,
inner child talks until that's gone. And then weirdly, the coupling guilt that says you shouldn't feel goes too. And we're in the grown up,
I like that.
right? But I
Yeah,
do feel that.
yeah,
You told me that you have friends that say they try to fix it and say you shouldn't feel that. That's a mirror of the guilt voice that says, shut up, you shouldn't feel it, right? The more
wow.
you just let your open wound hurt, I'm hurting, the more life will rearrange your friends. They'll either shift your friends into seeing your hurt or bring in some new friends, right? You're going to
Yeah,
see a different surrounding mirror what's going on inside.
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
So
yeah,
what
because
do
I could tell
yeah.
that even with the one sister I have that does call me, that lives a distance away, the more I've said, when things don't bring peace, which is kind of in a thing, and I've said my peace is really important, let's not have this discussion or something, it's like she's called less because I won't go into, political, I don't go into these
Mhm.
things that create a lack of peace. And yeah, there's less phone calls.
It's okay.
Yeah, and that just shows me that my being more truthful allows those things that aren't resonating to be less.
Yes. Take a deep breath in, Dana, and tell me just what you feel. Not I shouldn't feel, not I'm responsible for someone else, not even why you feel it. Just what's here, what do you feel right now?
There's a feeling of relaxed, almost like the tension, like there was this tightness that's not here.
Yeah.
Lighter, lighter, definitely more open.
Do you know that's also you? When you say I don't know who I am, this is you.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this version of me
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. it's a fun new world. Imagine it's like a new chapter in your life. Like you're gonna meet a new you, and we get to do this new again.
Yeah.
There's a song that Amber and I one time we just came on random, and it's called "Come to Me" by the Goo Goo Dolls, and it really affected Amber and I. It's one of our favorite songs. It's in our top three probably. We play it all the time, and I'm emotional thinking of it. She is too. And he says over and over, "This is where we start again." Like he says, "I caught you burning photographs like that could save you from the past. History is like gravity, it holds you down away from me. You and me, we both got sins, and I don't care about where you've been. Don't be sad and don't explain. This is where we start again." Doon, doon. And he
Mhm.
says over and over, "We're gonna start again." And he's like, "When we fall apart," and then he even says, when we get to that very end, when we're old and near the end, we'll go home and start again. And
Mm.
like it really affects our emotions, that song, because we're always going to be starting again.
Yeah.
And one of the beautiful things about what you truly are, when we say, "I don't know what I am," and we talk about this old us, that was me. No, what you are is a constant beginning. You are a new beginning. And when one phase of your life ends, we start again. And when we die, we start again. And when everything ends, we start again. And we get to always start again and experience something new over and over and over again. And so, what you are is starting again and in a new
Mm.
way. And it'll be so fun because it's got new aspects you've never experienced before, and it's got things you've never ever felt before, and it will have a peace you've never felt, and a new you, and a you that feels on a new level, and a you that has finally finished the cycle of the constant responsible for everyone else, that allows yourself to receive that you get to start again in a new way, whether it's in peace with yourself, whether it shows up in a new relationship, new friends, new levels of health, new awareness, new awakening. you
Wow.
get you get to start again.
I love that. I love that because it really shows that, and just the words of that song, it's so powerful. Just
You
to know
know,
meet each other at a new day, new place every moment. It's a new opportunity.
am I right? By the way, here's how miraculous it is. Am I right that the song came in the day I proposed to you? The song came on the day I proposed to her on random. We had never heard it. It's not even a hit song. Here's the last line of the song. "Today's the day I'll make you mine, so get me to the church on time. Take my hand in this empty room. You're my girl and I'm your groom. Come to me, my sweetest friend. This is where we start again." That came on.
That's beautiful. You have to play that at your wedding.
Yes, we will. We will. We play it all the time. But
Wow.
that's
That's
what
the
you're here.
universe just giving confirmation. Yeah.
Yeah. You're just starting again, Dana. And
I'm, yeah, I feel good about this. Thank you.
yeah,
Powerful.
since you've been caretaking the whole world and part of starting again is receiving, are you open to an amazing
Absolutely.
receiving? Because this was a miracle. You're a miracle, Dana.
Thank you.
We're going to open the chat up. Ladies and gentlemen, please share with the amazing Dana just what you got from that, how amazing she is, how powerful, beautiful, what a wonderful mother, partner, friend she is. And Dana, feel free to read these in the chat, okay?
Beautiful. Oh, that was so helpful. You have no idea. So emotional watching you and feeling similar feelings. Thank you. Thank you for your miraculous, vulnerable truth and example. I love you. I resonate with your story. So much love. You deserve so much love. You're a beautiful soul. Thank you for sharing your story. You're amazing and brave. I could relate to so many things. It was so powerful. I cried with you, reflected so much. You are such a light, Dana. You're so courageous. Gentle souls, the power that holds this world. I needed this today. So much of it was from me. Sending you big hugs. Oh, you're beautiful, Dana. This has helped me today. They're going so fast. Such a beautiful hot seat. You're so authentic and loving. You're so courageous and feel so deeply. I love you. You're a beautiful, miraculous, and precious soul, sending so much love. Been through much heart and difficult experience. So beautiful, great and vulnerable. Thank you for being so open. Oh, what you said resonated with me. Start again. You got this. Love you now and ever. Thank you for allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Thank you so much, Dana. It cost you peace of mind. It's too expensive. That was a stunning session. And gratitude for the words you spoke, the healing you've done in the world. Thank you, Dana. I've been feeling the same way for the same reasons. Hugs. I love you. Love this so much. Resonated deeply. You are amazing, brave, and a powerhouse. And a love. Big hugs. Thank you for sharing this. Hot seat helped me. I'm so glad. Find that song and sing it daily. It's amazing. You're wise and brave and beautiful. I love you. Yay to starting again. We deserve another chance at life. Thank you for honesty and vulnerability related to so much. Oh, wow. Thank you for everybody that shared and that held the space for me to be vulnerable. You helped me heal for so many past relationship where my partner also passed. So much in common in my life. Thank you for openly sharing. I'm so grateful for you. We all deserve that sweet friend. Oh, wow. You're loved, all of you. Thank you, Kyle. You hold such a safe space. Agreed. Oh, I feel so held and seen. Thank you.
Yeah, I received that.
Yeah.
You're so wonderful, Dana.
Thank you, Kyle. So are you.
Yeah, oh, thank you. Remember, the main reason we suffer is we're holding on to something that's not true. Join us on a hot seat on Infinite Expansion and see if we can get closer to the truth and let go of the painful lie, or do a private one-on-one with me. Either way, the link is below in the description. I can't wait to get to the truth of what you truly are.